Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. For those of you who do not know me, hi, welcome. I'm so glad you stopped by today. Today I'm going to be filming with this palette right here. It is the Profusion Festival 35 Shade Pro Pigment Palette. Here is a better view of this palette right here. It is a very colorful palette. It is very visually appealing. I will say this was originally going to be a 10 looks 1 palette video, but then as I started filming with this palette right here, things were not going as planned. I ended up doing 6 looks, as you guys can tell from the title. So if you would like to see the 6 looks I struggled to create with this palette right here, then continue watching. Okay, so the first shade I'm going to be using or taking on my eyes is Wristband, and I'm placing this just into my crease and above my crease. I'm going to be using this as a transition shade, and I'm taking this on a fluffy brush. I also wanted to let you know that the first 2 looks on this video, I am using my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk as the base. So for this look and the next one, that is what you will see. The next shade I'm using is Beat. I'm taking this on a fluffy brush and kind of blending it in with Wristband because I didn't want the overall brightness of Beat, but I did kind of want to give my eyes like that orangey kind of hue. Then I go into the shade Hot AF, which this is a much more kind of pinky corally shade, and I'm taking that on a denser crease brush and just kind of placing it, and then I'm going to blend it all together in just a moment. And what I used to blend that together is the same brush I took a Beat on, and I'm just kind of blending those shades together and kind of getting that perfect blend that I want before I move on to the next shade I'm going to use. The next shade is Crochet, and I'm taking that on a fluffy brush, but I'm using it to kind of just pack it into the outer V of my eye. And I kind of really like this like deeper orange shade. This shade actually was one that worked really, really well in the palette. Then I just kind of blend everything lightly together using that same brush that had Beat on it. Next, I'm going to take the shade Daze. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of setting spray. You definitely have to spray these shimmer shades or you'll have a mess all over your face. And I'm just going to place that about halfway onto my lid. And just kind of working it on and kind of blending it in with that crochet shade. Then I take my Covergirl Peacock Flare Mascara, the mascara that I'm trying to use up, and just place that on my eyelashes. I don't do anything with my lower lash line in this video or in this particular tutorial because I just wasn't feeling it. Then I go in with my Kokie matte lipstick in Burn Baby Burn. I love this lipstick. I hate the shape of the lipstick itself, but the color is beautiful. It is one of my favorites. I absolutely enjoy it. There is the final look. You guys will have to let me know what you think of this look because from here on out, I feel like it goes downhill and that the shades just do not work as well. The next look, I go into the shade Wavy, and I place that right onto the outer portion of my eye. I'm still using that NYX Jumbo Pencil, by the way, and I'm just kind of packing that on with a crease brush. I'm also taking it into the crease of my eye and just above my crease. Then I go into the shade Shell, and I'm taking that on a fluffy brush and I'm using it to lightly blend out Wavy. And I kind of have to build this shade up and work with it quite a bit. It is probably one of the worst purple shades I have ever used. It was aggravating. It turned out beautiful, but the amount of work that I had to put into with this one was just aggravating and not what I wanted. Not what I wanted when I was trying to do a quick eye look. Then I go into the worst black eyeshadow I have ever used. This is Onyx, and I'm just kind of packing it on with a fluffy brush. That was my first mistake. In a little bit, you will notice that I change brushes, and this is where I change brushes, and I'm going in with a packing brush just to kind of pack everything on and get it where I would like it. Then I'm going to kind of lightly blend it out, those outer edges, with the same brush I had Wavy on, and it's just not working. The black shadow kind of disappears, so I gave up on blending it. Then I take the shimmer shade Fannypack, and I place this on my eyelid and kind of blend it in with that black to hopefully kind of save the look. I really do not like how this turned out at all. Then I'm taking the Inglot Gel Eyeliner in number 73 and just kind of lining my eyes. I don't think that this helped any. It's a very beautiful eyeliner. And then I take my Peacock Flare mascara that you will see this entire video because at some point it's going to be done being used because I literally wear this mascara every single day. Every day. Then I'm going to actually take my Kat Von D liquid lipstick in K-Dub, and I'm only using this one because I have it in my collection and it's just sitting there, and I thought it was the perfect color to go with this look. No, I did not recently go out and buy any Kat Von D products. And here's the final look. You will have to let me know what you think, but that black is just completely unblended, and I tried to blend it on the other side. It's a hot mess of a look. Let's be real. You guys can be honest with me. Next look, I go into the shade Festival, and I place this right into my crease and just above my crease, and I'm just kind of packing it on. I found that these shadows really work well when you pack them on and then kind of blend them out, but you do have to be careful. I'm also using my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in C1 as my eyeshadow base for the next two looks. So for look number 3 and look number 4. Just so you guys are aware that there is a base change. Then I go back into the shade Shell and I place that, or kind of pack it in to my crease just to give that pinky shade a more kind of purple vibe. I'm just kind of blending and packing and blending and packing just to kind of place it where I want it. Then I take the shade Totally and I place that on with a flat kind of packing brush right into the outer V of my eye. And it doesn't kind of want to sit where my crease is, where I have those other two shades meeting. It's just, yeah, these do better like not blended into each other. It's really odd how these shadows work together and or don't want to work together, even though they're kind of like within the same shade family. Then I go into the shimmer shade Bite, and again, spray that. I like this shimmer shade. I like how it kind of worked out, but you'll notice that I do end up with a little bit of fallout under my eye even after spraying it. And these shimmers in this palette are just kind of finicky in general. Just kind of applying that. Then I also take the shimmer shade Groove, spray that, and I meet it with the shimmer shade Bite, just to kind of marry them together. And this is where I was kind of having a bit of a struggle. Look at all that fallout right next to my eye. Oh my goodness. Then I take my Stila Waterproof Sail Day eyeliner and I do a wing. You guys know I haven't been doing many wings, but I don't know. This look kind of called for a wing. I don't know if you guys can notice the difference in the way the shadows sit on my eye from using the NYX Jumbo Pencil to using the concealer. It's kind of a different thing. Then I take a bit more of Bite and I actually work this onto my lower lash line with the same brush that I used to place it on my lid. Then I'm going to take the CoverGirl Peacock Flare Mascara and I'm just going to do my upper lashes. I have not really been doing my lower lashes when I do this. I don't know. It's been a thing. Then I'm going to take the Ofra liquid lipstick and place that on my lips. This is one I got in BoxyCharm, and I thought it looked good with this look. This look turned out okay. You can't really see, there's some patchiness on my one eye, and it's just, yeah, I don't know what these shadows are doing. The first shade I'm going to use is going to be Witty. I'm just going to place this into my crease and use it as a transition shade. So I tried to play around with as many different shades as I could in this palette just to kind of give myself an idea of how each of these shades work. Again, I am going to take the shade Campground and I'm going to work this into my crease and just above my crease and use Witty to kind of blend everything out. These neutral shades work a lot better than the colorful shades I found, and they work especially well on the Conceal and Define concealer by Revolution or Makeup Revolution. Then I take the shade Champ and I'm going to place this on my outer V and then through my crease, and I'm also going to wing it out. I'm using this on a dense kind of brush. This, for a brown kind of neutral shade, I had to pack it on quite a bit. As you guys will see in a lot of these clips, I am going through and dipping in constantly, which I don't usually have to do with more neutral shadows. These are just very different and difficult to work with. Here I am creating that kind of shadow wing, which is not something I typically do, but I like it for this look. Then I'm going to take the shade Superstar and I'm going to place that on my entire lid, which is also something I don't typically do, but I liked it for this look and I thought it was a very pretty kind of gold shade. Then I'm going to take my Peacock Flare mascara and place that on my eyelashes. I was going to say lash line, but that's not accurate. I also don't do my lower lash line for this look. Then I take the Sephora Lip Stories in After Hours, one of my absolute favorite red lipsticks, and I put that on. There is the final look. I actually think out of a lot of these, this is a very pretty look and came together the easiest because it's just pretty. It's like a classic look. The next eye look, I take the shade Sunnies on a small kind of detail brush and I place that towards my inner corner just above my crease in my eye there. And by the way, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer. Then I take the shade Beat, which I think was a mistake with this one. Had I used, I think, the NYX Jumbo Pencil, I think these shades would have stuck better and shown up better. So I think this video does a really good job of showing you kind of how shadows work with different bases and the types of bases you need. Then I take the shade Totally, or no, that was actually the shade Playlist, I apologize. And I placed that next to Beat. But as I was saying, like, these shades I think would have been a lot more vibrant on the NYX Jumbo Pencil, especially because it is stickier and just holds on to these shadows a little bit better. Then I go into the shade Festival, and I place that right next to Playlist. This is my favorite purple in this palette, and it's not really that purple. Then I take the shade Wavy and place that next to that purple Festival shade. This blue is just a pain. It is a pain. You have to really build it up, and then you have to be super careful when you blend it out, and it really does not matter what base you use this on, whether you're using a very sticky base or not. Then I take the shade Winning and I use that to kind of blend everything together and it kind of lighten the edges and soften everything. The next thing I'm going to do, which is the biggest mistake of this entire tutorial, is place the NYX glitter primer all over my eyes. I say this is a mistake because I should have just gone in with, like I did with every other shimmer shade, but I wanted to see how these shimmer shades would work on a glitter glue. And I take the shade DJ and I place that right over the top of the glitter glue. This just made my eyes look so crepey and just like a hot mess. I should have just gone in and wet them. This was a mistake on my point, but this shadow also is really crumbly, so I was thinking that maybe the glitter glue would have been a better option. But I continuously have to dip in, and I think if I would have wet my brush, it wouldn't have been quite like that. Then I take the same mascara I've been using the entire time, the Peacock Flare Mascara by Covergirl, and I place that all over my lashes because, yeah, we're just trying to use this one up so I can use one of my other ones. Then I take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Gloss in Orchid, and I put that all over my lips. And there is the final look. You guys will have to let me know down below what you think of each and every one of these looks. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. And here we are at the final video. I'm going to take the shade Hipster and I'm going to place this into my crease. And again, I think this is a combination of the Anastasia Beverly Hills base and the shadows just not working really well. Then I go in with Wavy. And this is where things kind of go downhill because I'm trying to deepen that crease and it is just a struggle. I have to continuously dip into that, kind of blend it out, but every time I blend it out, it just wants to disappear. And it is just, it's very frustrating because I don't want it to have like that harsh line. I want it to have kind of a nice blend, but it's just not wanting to cooperate and it's just not wanting to do that. But, you know, we continuously try and kind of blend. Then I go in with the shade Rockin' and I place that on the outer corner. I did wet this one, by the way. I didn't show it, but I did wet it. I'm just kind of deepening and darkening everything. As you can see, I kind of gave up with brightening it with Wavy. Then I take the shade Atlantis and I place that right next to Rockin'. And this Atlantis shade I think is the best shimmer in this entire palette, and it's a blue. Then I go in with the shade Geode, which is another very beautiful one, but Atlantis just works a little bit better than it. I think the shimmers on my eyes kind of save the look. And then again, going in with that same mascara. And I did do my lower lash line. I placed Rockin' on there. I just, the angle at which I tried to film that was just horrible. And you guys could not really see what I was doing, but I did place that on my lower lash line. And then I take the Pat McGrath lipstick in 1995. It's kind of a nice nude lipstick for some people, but it comes off a little darker on me. And there is the final look. Well, not my favorite look, but not bad. Thank you guys so much for sitting through those 6 looks. I just kind of want to give my thoughts on this palette. In a nutshell, I'm not very happy with this palette and how it performs. I'm used to like pressed pigment shadows, what this claims to be. I expected it to be highly pigmented. It is not highly pigmented. You have to pack it on, pack it on, pack it on. And as you can see, I tried 3 different eyeshadow bases. I don't know if you noticed that, but I did. I tried my NYX Jumbo Pencil. I tried my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, as well as trying the new Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer. Now, I did that because I was also kind of playing around with the bases and I wanted to try the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, but I wanted to see if these performed differently because I struggled with it with my NYX Jumbo Pencil, which is the stickiest base that I use. So I was like, okay, if it doesn't work with that, let's try something else. What I found is that it worked best. These shades worked best, but still not to my now very high eyeshadow standards, with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and then the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I just don't think I like that primer, and I've been using it off camera with a bunch of different palettes and things, using it before work. The thing I find is that it works best with neutrals. It does not work best with colorful pigmented shadows. It is not a sticky base. It is not what you need for those. It does not give you that wow factor, and it dries so quickly. So no, that did not work with this, but overall, these just blend away into nothing. Even after like packing and doing my light blending that I typically do with pressed pigments, it did not. It did not work at all. I was like, you would almost have to pack it on and leave it unblended to have the color payoff that you needed. With some of these, some of them just kind of faded away into nothing. Very annoying. The shimmers, they're so chunky. These shimmers here are so chunky and so just a pain in the butt to work with. Some of them are okay, like this blue one I think is the best one out of this entire palette. The rest of them are like Fallout Central, crumbly. This one's very crumbly. In all honesty, I think this is going to be an eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be decluttering. I do not recommend this one. I do not like it. I don't even know if I'm going to give it away to someone. I have no idea because I don't want to wish this upon anyone. It was something my mom picked up for me, so I was kind of really hoping that it would work because it was very sweet of her to pick up this eyeshadow palette for me, but it's just not to my standards. It's not as pigmented. Some of the shades worked better, as I said, but overall it is just not that great, and it's like Fallout Central. I don't know if you guys can see how messy my palette is, but I just don't like it. I really don't. I've never really worked with two blues that are not as pigmented. I think things showed up a lot better on camera. I was editing some of the looks and I was like, well, that looks different than it did in person. And some of them look a lot better. This palette put me on the struggle bus and I just don't ever want to use it again. And I don't like when an eyeshadow palette makes me feel that way. I don't like talking badly about eyeshadow palettes because I typically enjoy them, but again, not when I recommend. So there are my final thoughts on the Profusion Festival palette. Barf. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching me struggle. Or if you just enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you have not already. I promise not every single tutorial goes as roughly as that one did. I do hope that you enjoyed it and have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and bye!